Hello, this is a demonstration of Motor Trader's Assistant version 3, software package designed for small to medium sized independent motor traders. It's an accounting package with stock control basically. So this is the icon you normally get on your desktop. So we'll open that. Program will load fairly quickly, and what you see when you first open the program is this empty screen. That's, I say, after you've entered your dealer details. These are required for the invoices. You enter your details and your banking details if you want to, that's optional. And then after you've done that, you get this screen, which basically will be a list of your in-stock vehicles once you've started putting vehicles into stock, which is what we recommend you do when you first get the package, because the package really is you can think of it as being in two halves: the in-stock, the ex-stock, which is your stock control, and then you've got the cash book, which is for all your other accounting things, transactions. Whenever you put a vehicle into stock, it will synchronize automatically with the cash book, and also when you put it out of stock. Best way to explain this is to actually show you. You can either right click anywhere over the area, or you can select from the menu at the top. Either way, let's put a vehicle into stock. When you select that option, it's put in the stock number 1, will be your first stock number. Now I must admit the screen does look a little bit busy when you see it for the first time, but it is actually very, very easy to use. The default date for the date of purchase will be today, so you know when I made the video. And then you put in what you paid for the car. Let's say we paid £5,000. You don't have to put in a trade or a retail price at this stage. You may decide to leave that until later, till you've decided what you want to ask for it or what you've actually sold it for. You don't have to put a buyer in, so some of these are optional. What isn't optional, it'll tell you when you click finished if you haven't put it in. But we'll say the buyer is someone called JB. It's just for information later date if you want to know who bought this car. So let's buy a car. Let's put in a vehicle registration. Let's try YY030KN, and we'll just press look up. Now then you can see that everything in yellow has been put in by the vehicle registration lookup system. That means it's going to save you a lot of typing, and it's quite accurate, more accurate than what it would be if you put things in manually and made errors. You put the mileage in. Let's say it's done 50,000 miles. And that's it, apart from if you want to put additional details in. There's not a lot of typing involved. It's mostly mouse clicks. If you go to this select update additional features button, you can select additional features. If there's a feature that isn't there, you can add it to the list. If there's a feature you don't want listed, similarly you can select it. If it's everything, you can want to tick everything you can, or you can clear it all. Anyway, let's just put a couple in. Let's just say it's got power steering and a tow bar, and there's some things here you might want to include. Let's tick include that it's got previous keepers and finished. Done. You'll see then that the power steering, tow bar and one previous keeper has been added. That you didn't have to type that. Any additional comments you would have to type. Apart from that, you don't really need keyboard much putting the vehicle into stock. We'll add a supplier. If you get the same or the regular supplier, you've only got to enter the details once, so that then you can click on it. This would normally contain a list of suppliers from which you could search for any particular supplier. As you enter it on the keyboard, it'll narrow down the search. However, we've only got one contact here, which is just a dummy name. So we click finished, and the details are entered for you. Well, that's it. That's put a vehicle into stock. So we click finished, and there's our vehicle listed into stock. And if you wanted to see a purchase invoice report. There it is. All the details that you just put in, that you can print out and file if you want to. Okay, so the best thing to do now, I think, is to show you what it looks like with a typical amount of data in it. So what I'll do, I'll load up a dummy data file. You get a little warning box saying back up this if you want to save it. I'm not bothered. So we click no, and we'll enter a dummy data file. There it is, loading there. Now you can configure this in all sorts of ways. This particular user has decided to list just the SIV and the days in stock. You can also, as well as choosing the columns, you can order the columns how you like. So you can see that the oldest car I've got in stock has been there for 791 days. Good heavens. Time that was sold. Anyway, this is just dummy data, so I won't worry about it. So let's just take a vehicle. Let's say anyone. This one will do. And we'll double click on it to bring up the purchase invoice. And let's say we've found a customer and we've sold it. All we need to do is to raise a sales invoice. Here, another window pops up, which again may look a little bit busy at first, but it's actually quite straightforward. It defaults the date of sale to today. It's a retail price, because we only had a retail value for it, so that if there was one or the other you would choose, but as there was only retail, it's put it in. Let's say they've paid a deposit of £500, and you'll see the part exchange details here are all greyed out or disabled, but as soon as I put a value in the box, let's just say £1,000, we'll now be looking for the details, and it won't let you finish unless you've put those details in while you've got a value in this box. It's all pretty foolproof, really. So salesman, this was GG. You don't have to put that in. You can sell it as untaxed, but we're going to tax it. Let's say the tax was £220. If you want to know what all the current road tax values are, there's a list that you can view from here. So let's give it a warranty. In your settings, you would set up your warranties, what they cost, and what you sell them for, so it can work out your profit and loss. The default is no warranty implied or given, but on this one we'll give it a warranty. Let's say 2-year warranty, and the charge for that was £385. So there's all the details of your car that you're selling, and these are the details of the car that you're taking in part exchange. We'll put a registration in, by 999 Rod, and click look up, and this is a Mercedes, and we can put the miles in. Let's say it's done 50,000 again, and you can put comments in, you know, needs refurb wheels or new tyres. It's for a private memo, just for your own information. Okay, we need a purchaser. I've only got one contact, so it'll have to be this fella again. And then we go to finance. The default is it's not on finance, so these are not disabled. Let's add a finance. So let's say it's on finance. It will give you a list of finance companies. If you've none there, you could click here and add one, but we've got some. So let's say it's with Close Motor Finance, and they've loaned us £2,000. Now you can put an agreement reference number if you want. I'll put one in. If you do put it in, it will go on the invoice, and since you will be sending a copy of the invoice to Close Motor Finance, they would appreciate it most likely if you put the agreement reference in. So that's it. We click finished. Now it's telling you now that it's put a vehicle into stock for the part exchange. You don't have to do it yourself, it's done for you. There it is, it's in stock. It comes up because you may want to enter a trade or a retail price. I won't bother. I'll click finished, and then it will say, do you want to view the newly created sales invoice now? And as you can see, we've gone to X stock and we've highlighted the one that we've just put in. Let's say yes, and we can have a look. This is what your sales invoice will look like. It's the invoice to the finance company, delivered to this person here. Got a spelling mistake, never mind, it's only a dummy data. It's invoice from Acme Motors, dummy company. There's the details of the car, and then you get a full breakdown of what the car is, the warranty, the road tax, and then less the PX allowance, less the amount on finance, less the deposit, and that's the amount due from the customer. Most of this is customizable. You can put in or leave out these things. You can change them if you want to. If you take credit cards, you can put this in, or you can leave it out. If you want to put in your bank details so that people can do bank transfers directly to your account, you can put those in as well. So there is your sales invoice. Now, if we go now to the cash book, you'll remember I said that the cash book does automatically synchronize with your stock. So because we've got 547 highlighted here, when I go to cash book, it will go to all the transactions for invoice number 547. Now, as you can see, you can put a password protection on the cash book. This is useful if you have sales staff who put on vehicles and take vehicles off, but you don't want them to see the cash book. There may be wages or some other sensitive information you don't want them to see, so you can either password protect the entire program, or if you wish, just the cash book. It's up to you, it's in the options. I'll put the password in and click done, and that takes us to the cash book, and it's filtered out all the entries apart from those that relate to stock number 547. Now you can see that one is in black, the others are in red. The ones that are in black are paid. If you click on them, this invoice is paid. It gives you the details. If you click on one that isn't paid, let's say we've had the money in from Close Motor Finance, we can click on it and we can look at it. It's all been filled out for you totally automatically. It really is very easy to use, this program. Great time saver. If you want to enter a payment, by default it'll enter the full amount, £2,000. And if you want to only pay £1,000, you can, whatever, you know. So we'll put a, you don't have to put a reference in, but if it was from the finance company, you'd probably put in the reference, agreement reference. And we click finished. And now it says this invoice is paid and finished. And if we just filter it to 547, you'll see that the finance is now in black because we've paid it, and the others are in red. Now, supposing, remember when I put the vehicle in, we ticked that it had a tow bar. Let's say that we didn't have a tow bar, we have to fit one. So we can put accessories on the sales invoice. And how we would do that, would we click on add an invoice. Does it relate to stock 547? It's asking that because we are filtering by stock number. Item 547, yes. And bills are incoming. We keep it, we don't do debits and credits. Bills are incoming. This isn't a bill, we're going to invoice the customer, so we mark it outgoing. We're going to show it on the sales invoice, so we tick the box, so automatically it knows, so this is the person who bought the car. And we'll put here what we're going to do, supply and fit tow bar. And let's say it costs £300. Oh, not 3,000, 300. And category, let's appropriate category might be vehicle accessories, maybe. There we are. It knows that vehicle accessories is 20% VAT. That's because you've told it that all categories of vehicle accessories type are 20%. But it doesn't mean to say that there are not exceptions, so if you don't pay VAT for a particular supply, you can untick it, not like that. But as soon as you tick it, then it's accounted for in your VAT return. Okay, so we'll click finished, And you want to pay it now? Not really. I just want to show you how it works. So let's go back to the X stock, back to where we were, 547. We'll open it again. We'll look at the sales invoice again, and this time you'll see it's changed. It has supply and fit tow bar been added, and the VAT's been calculated as well. So it's pretty flexible. If you wanted to do other things in your cash book, I've got to put the password in again. Click done. You can add all sorts of invoices for rent, rates, overheads, and then you can, if you wanted to, you could just look for a particular date or the period of dates. If I click by dates, you pick the dates here. If you wanted to know by contact what are all my dealings with Fred Blogs, you could select from your list of contacts Fred Blogs. Reference what are all my expenses on computer software. You could do it. You could virtually do anything with this, and then once you've seen it displayed there, you can press report. So you can show ones that are unpaid, like that, or both, or just the ones that are paid. You can show the outgoing ones only, or the incoming ones, or both. So there we are. It's pretty easy. Once you've been working with it for half an hour, it all really does drop into place. So then once you've got your data in, you can click on the reports button. It gives you a whole range of reports: profit and loss, in stock margins for each vehicle, debtors, creditors, VAT report. Let's just click on VAT report just to show you how easy that is. Let's say it's from the 1st of April, May, June, till the 30th of June. I'm going to put the 30th of June, click done, and then you get a VAT report pop up, and then you can scroll down. There's several pages. If we go to the back page, it will show you the boxes that you put in on your VAT return, and it will give you a breakdown of how it was all accounted for. So there's lots more to the program. Every time you do a VAT report, it says, do you want to make a backup of the data that was used to produce the VAT report? It's a good idea to do that. I won't bother this time, but then if ever you get a VAT inspection, you can always say, well, this is the data that I used on that day to produce that report. One thing we do recommend is in settings, preferences, you select this button here, so that when you close the program, the data automatically uploads to the MTA server. So I'll do that now. I'll click finished. I'll close the program. The data is going up to the MTA server. This is quite a lot of data, and it doesn't take very long. And then every time the program closes, your data is saved. If you have a flood, fire, somebody steals your computer, or it blows up, whatever, you can just download the program again on another computer and carry on working. It's securely stored, it's encrypted, it's safe. And that's it. It's a very simple to use. We've been developing this program now for about 12 years. We've got hundreds of users all over the country. They're all very happy bunnies, at least they tell me they are. Hope you'll join us. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.